So when you sort of briefly separated from Naughty, was it to focus on the music and production? Were you finding a lot more joy in that part and
Yeah,
reducing the
yeah,
touring?
yeah. That's what it was. At the time, I had just had basically had my third child. It was just like it got to a point where I just was just questioning, like, yo, do I still want to be on the road? Do I really want to still keep doing this stuff? Actually, I didn't even have a third child yet. I didn't even have it actually. Not even no, I didn't. I didn't even have the third child yet. It just got to a point with me, man, where I don't know. It just felt like it was just a lot of stuff going on within the group, and I just was just like, man, I don't know if I even want to do this no more, man. I don't know. I don't know. And it was just a lot of arguing and going bickering back and forth. I just was like, and I just said, man, you know what? I'm just done with it. I'm done with it. I'm gonna just go focus on producing. I'm gonna find me some groups and I'm just gonna focus on them and just try to get me a deal.
Mm.
And I just stopped touring with Naughty by Nature. I left the group and I just started I put together Divine Mill. And I started, developing Jahiem. I started developing Next, and I started developing Dugans and Coffee Brown, a couple of
Yeah.
different projects, and trying to find me a deal. And as I developed it, I got a presentation together. Went to shock him again and said, "Hey, I got a presentation. I got a presentation. Where can I go with it? How should I do it?" And we connected dots, and we ended up going to Arista with it. And
So
that was the beginning of Divine Mill right there.
how did you come up with the name Divine Meal?
One of the rappers I had named Dugans. Um, I was riding, I was with him one day, and he was in a crew called uh ah I forgot that now. I mean, I drew blank.
It's like,
But anyway, yeah, but his crew, they were like 5%ers and all this different stuff or whatever. So growing up down south, my aunt used to work at this factory, and they called the factory the mill.
okay.
And all the time, like we would spend time down there almost every summer as my father's sister and my aunt Dot, and we used to be down there in Chester, South Carolina, and every time we would just be like, "Hey, we want to do something, whatever." Well, you gotta wait for Dot to come. I mean, for our Dot to come from the mill. She's at the mill. They didn't even say work really. It was like she's at the mill. You gotta wait for her to come from the mill, and this and that. And oh well, when I come from the mill tomorrow, you guys could do this or whatever, whatever. So it always stuck in my mind: the mill, the mill, the mill. And I'm just like, okay, the mill. So she worked at a factory. They called the factory the mill. So I got my studio in the house. At the time, I had a bunch of different producers and guys working with me. And I looked at it as a factory at that point because I was just like, yo, we just pumping out beats, we pumping out music, we pumping out this, and we want to be able to pump out a bunch of music. So it's going to be a factory, it's going to be a mill. Not a factory, but we're going to call it a mill because my aunt used to work at the mill and it was a factory. So then I asked Dugans, I said, I said, in your world and in your whole 5% nation or whatever, you guys are whatever, you know, and the group was called Now Justice too. Now I think I remember what it was. They were called Now Justice. So I said, and now in your Now Justice world, what is pure? He's like, what you mean? Like, if something's pure, he was like, well, divine, or what do you mean? Like something that's more divine? Like when something's pure, you say it's more divine or whatever. I was like, okay, so that's it then. All right, divine. So I said, Divine Mill.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay. And so you've got the name in your head. What was was there sort of a mission for Divine Mill? What were you thinking about would be the mission for the label?
Well, I mean, at the time, even before that, with Illtown Records, the mission was always to try to build something up and build a legacy and build a label So after, me personally and after us, we would have a label to run. And I was looking at, and I tell him this all the time, I was looking at what Mike Bivens was doing with Biv 10. So I was looking at Biv 10 and I was just like, wow, that's dope. Biv really got it going on. Like, that's really dope. I like what he's doing, spearheading the label, cheerleading it, and basically running a label situation. That's really dope. So I looked at what he was doing and I was just like, one day I gotta get my stuff together and I want to be like him and do like that. So it didn't happen and work with the Illtown situation. But once I got to Divine Mill, my goal was to try to do the exact same thing again, to say, okay, now maybe I can do what I was trying to do before, and follow in the footsteps of Biv. And at the time too, Bad Boy had already surfaced.
Oh yeah. So Def.
We had Death Bro, So Def, and all those guys already coming at that point. By then, I was just like, these guys are doing it, so why can't I?
Yeah. Were you able to take John A over to Divine Mill?
No, I wasn't able to take them. No. I stayed involved with them, but I wasn't able to switch them over to become a technical Divine Mill artist.
Okay. And who did you find first? Was it Next? Was it Jahiem or?
I actually had Jahiem first.
Wow.
Yes,
he came out last.
And he came out last, yes. And to this day, he'll tell you he's pissed off about that. Yep.
I think he came out at the right time though, but
he did, but he'll tell you to this day he's pissed off, that I was the first one in, I came out last.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, but most importantly to press the notification bell so that you can be notified when we do have a new interview. Loads to come, but thanks a lot for watching.
I begin to